Hello, everyone. Father Scott Vanderveer here, thinking about the coming season of Lent and how we can make it our best Lent so far. One of the things that has been the biggest success in our parish, one of the most hopeful and fruitful things we've ever done, is to start gathering in small groups. Not just gathering in a large assembly of 200 people for Mass on the weekend, but in addition to that, also gathering one time during the week with a group of 6 to 10 people to talk about how the messages that we're hearing in church directly impact our life and the highs and lows, the joys and sorrows, the struggles and delights of living as a human being on this planet of ours. This is something that has been so successful, that has improved the lives of so many parishioners. It would be a mistake to not try to expand it, to try to share it with more people in our parish. One of the things that is so powerful about a small group is that people who get to know each other a little bit and grow in trust, people who don't necessarily need to be friends in the traditional sense, but people who share faith and share a desire to grow in their relationship with God, they get together and they sit in a circle. And they are asked questions, provided with questions and some material to think about. And their response to the questions gives them an opportunity to open their hearts by sharing with others a little bit about how their journey has been affected by the teaching of Jesus. And then open their minds to hear what other people are saying about how that has affected them. People have grown in appreciation of the struggles that other people have gone through. One of the things that people have said about being in a small group is that I didn't realize how much life is a challenge for everybody. I used to think that some people had it better than others, or that some people got off easy. And I now realize, talking to my neighbors, no one gets out of life alive, as they say, and no one has it easy. This life that we live is a challenge for us all. So one of the things that we've been told about learning is that learning is often done in a teacher-to-student relationship where the teacher has the information, the students have blank notebooks, and they need to write it all down. And that's one of the reasons why we arrange our classrooms so often as we do for lectures, because people learn sitting in rows facing the same topic, the same question together. But they don't necessarily grow that way. The saying goes, we learn in rows, but we grow in circles. And that's why the small groups are so uniquely designed to help people with their spiritual growth. It allows people to grow by being in a circle with other believers who are trying to take the challenges that they face, the heartbreaks, the angers, the setbacks, the feelings of not being as lucky as other people perhaps, or comparing ourselves with others and coming up short, those feelings of frustration with other people being greedier or more successful than we are, and feeling resentful about that, wondering why God doesn't bless us the way God blesses others. All of those things that we go through in life, the things that make us say, seriously, God? Seriously, this is what I have been handed, the hand I've been dealt? This is seriously what I have to deal with? And so actually that's what we're going to talk about during Lent. There is a book by Father Michael White and Tom Corcoran called Seriously, God? And it's all about these things in life that are so hard to bear. And it follows the readings of Lent. So we're going to have an experience of being able to read a book, a very easy and page-turning read. We're going to be able to read this together while going to Mass on the weekends and hearing the readings and hearing a message about how these things tie together. And then we're going to be able to sit in circles and figure out how this message impacts my life, how I can take what I've heard and apply it in a really direct way so that my cross is easier to bear. The way before me is a little less difficult to traverse. And for those things that can't be changed, for those things that are going to be difficult no matter what, those things that are going to hurt no matter what, at least we're not going through it alone. We're going through it with other people who may have been strangers to begin with, but who we soon realize are deeply beautiful children of God who have so much to offer. One of the great things about small groups is that there's no need for a leader in the traditional sense. We might say that someone is the leader of a small group, but it's not really true, because the person who's leading is not so much leading as they are hosting. You host a small group, and we actually have an acronym to describe what a host does. Host, H-O-S-T. H, have a heart for people. O, open the door of your house or get the key to open the door of the church meeting room. S, serve drinks. You could also serve food, but you don't have to go to that level. Maybe someone's going to bring a bag of baby carrots and you can put it on a plate, or someone's going to bake cookies and you can put those in the middle of the circle. And then T, turn on Father Scott's YouTube message. There it is. H-O-S-T. Just have a heart, open the door, serve a pitcher of iced tea or a pot of coffee, and turn on the DVD. And then you've got a guide that is going to help with the rest. Asking generative questions that'll help people to get conversation flowing. A lot of the questions are going to be, what does this remind you of from your own life? When has this happened to you? Who in your life reminds you of the character in this story? Or who does the character in this story remind you of from your past? What did you learn from that person? How did you, if the person were an obstacle in your way or was a difficult person to deal with, what did you learn from that? You get the idea. So these are not support groups, but they offer support. But people aren't gathered around a single topic. It's not the same thing as a widow's group or a bereavement support group or an addiction recovery group. It's not like that. Although there's one group where everybody in it realized they were single, either widowed or separated or divorced, and that became a real bonding force for them. It wasn't what brought them together, but once they realized it, they thought, wow, look what God did in bringing us together. There's been groups where everyone came to realize that there's somebody in their family who is a member of the LGBTQ community, and they realized, oh, I now have all these other people who can relate to exactly what my family life is like. There's many, many other examples, but those are just two that come to mind. And you can imagine how that provides tremendous support without being a support group. It's not a Bible study either. We're not there to grow in head knowledge, but there's no way you won't. There's no way you won't know the Bible better, be able to identify, oh, I know the prophet Jeremiah. I know his tone. We've talked about his writing enough over the time of our group that I kind of know who that is. So it's not a study of any kind, but it does put you in touch with Scripture and familiarize you in a way that nothing else quite could. And it's not a prayer group. It's not a group that's just coming together to pray, but you will pray, and you don't have to pray out loud in front of other people. It's not meant to be hard. It's meant to have an entry point for you wherever you are. So it seems to me that this is something that you may find is exactly what God is leading you to at this moment. In fact, if you watching this and considering joining a small group makes you nervous, makes you feel a little bit like, oh gosh, why is he asking this of us? That might be the perfect sign that that's what you're being asked to do. Because if you think back to all of the Bible characters as they were called, the fishermen that Jesus called, the prophets that God called, every single one of them Moses included, said, "Not me, not me. You don't want me. I can't do this." They felt so nervous. Maybe that nervousness, that little jolt of electric concern, is the sign that you are being called, that God is calling you the way that God has called others over the generations. So friends, I welcome you to consider this. Please reach out to our parish if you'd like to be part of this. We've got all sorts of groups forming. We're hoping to form 20 different groups, which is going to more than double the number of people that are in small groups in our parish. And that means we will have more than double the number of people whose lives have gotten better because of this tremendous way of being a church family as one. We learn in rows, but we grow in circles. May God bless our small group initiative, and may God bless each and every one of us on our journey.